What's up, everyone? Happy New Year. Welcome to another edition of Beyond the Arc, along with Anthony Morrow. I am Colby Daniels. It's been a long couple weeks. We've gone through the holidays. We've turned the calendar. I've survived what was maybe the most deadly flu in the history of mankind. I'm being a little bit dramatic, but man, it was a crazy week between Christmas and New Year's where I got sick, and basically everyone in the family has had it. But we are all on the up and up, and looking forward to a fruitful 2026. Amo, my man, how are you?
Man, I'm well, bro. You had me scared. I said, no, my bro can't be hurt. Like, I need him right for everything. I'm glad to see that you're okay just to start that off. And we've been well, man. It's been a great holiday and New Year and everything, man. Everybody's fine. The kids back in school, thank God, which is cool.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
just super just excited about everything that's going on for the new year. And glad to be back on with you, brother.
That's right, man. I looked at it as my body deciding it was going to flush all the bad from 2025 out, so I didn't carry it into the new year, and I start fresh. I'm about 10 pounds lighter, so I'm feeling good. And yeah, we're going to hit the reset button and launch into 2026. Man, we've got a lot to talk about. First of all, though, before we jump into the Thunder and I ask you all the questions, what's wrong with the Thunder? Should Thunder fans be panicking? All that stuff. Your Carolina Panthers snuck into the NFL playoffs and are in action this weekend.
I told them do it this year. I told them we was going to do it, and we did it. And we had a little bit of luck because the Falcons had to win, and I watched that Falcons game with impunity, bro. Like I had to watch that, and like y'all have to win. And I was with some of my guys that's Falcons fans from Atlanta, and we had a good. It was good. I almost wore my Deion Sanders jersey for real, and I never put that on.
There you go.
That's my favorite football player ever. But nah, we just happy to be in there. We got to play the Rams again. I know we already beat them, so now I know what they're gonna be on in terms of
There
the
you go.
playoffs. They
Carolina
won them.
Mike better bring his A game.
Now we have to make sure that we bring that for real. But I'm just glad that they defeated the odds and won the NFC South. For real, for real. But we still gonna be cheering like we going to the,
That's
to the
right.
champ. Yeah, but it is what it is, though.
Fun ride, anyway, right? I mean, it's one of those things when nobody expects you to be even in contention to win the division. It's always
Yeah,
a good time. Yeah.
I mean, you got Jacksonville, you got Seattle been good all year, but you know, you got a lot of people right now that can compete for something that can ruin people's playoff chances.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
What Atlanta did. Thank you, Atlanta Falcons. Hawks.
Give it up to the ATL. All right. Okay. So, Thunder, let's rewind to December 10th, I believe it was, December 10th or 11th. Thunder beat the Phoenix Suns. They're 24-1, tied for the best start through 25 games in NBA history, along with the Golden State Warriors. Everybody has essentially crowned them as the champions. People are saying this isn't good for basketball. They're too dominant. And then they go to Las Vegas to play the Spurs in the NBA Cup semifinal. They lose that game, but from the time they were wheels down in Las Vegas to today, when they're getting ready to play again this evening as we record this, they are 6-6 since that point in time, from 24-1 to 6-6 over the last 12. So I gotta ask, just to start this podcast off, what is wrong with the Thunder?
I don't think anything wrong. I think it's what we talked about in the beginning of the season. Like, you're gonna go through some stuff. I don't think there's nothing wrong with them. I just think that the Spurs had a number. Right now, they do. And they play Tuesday again. And the matchup, Stephon Castle was looking at Shea like, nah, I know what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I played it. I understand. You know what I'm saying? And I think Stephon Castle is taking that challenge. And that's going to be like the breaking point of anything. because I think no disrespect to Stephon Castle, he a young guy. He's really good at what he does, and he can defend. He's a two-way guy, and he can score. But I think Shea is more dynamic of an offensive player. But also, like I said, he feel like I know what he want to do, and I'm gonna stop him from doing that, and we gonna win. You see, that's what I'm. They won three in a row, so I'm like, it's not like a real problem for Oklahoma City because I feel like they're a better team right now because they're younger, but they're older than the young Spurs. But I ain't gonna lie, when the young Wimby gets to where it's gonna be, I don't know who gonna stop them because they have Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Vassell, De'Aaron Fox, if he stays there, which I think he will now, and then you got like the alien over there going to start making some moves. But I feel like it's gonna be like I said. I want to see a great dynasty with these two organizations moving forward, and I'm gonna be biased with Oklahoma City, but we'll see what happens.
The thing about that
Because
Spurs matchup that's really intriguing to me is, like, I think they have a lot of Thunder-like players, right? The guys that, like Vassell, I could see being a guy that Sam Presti would want on the Thunder. Castle being a guy that I could see Sam Presti wanting on the Thunder. I mean, they're built very similar, but I think you said it at the beginning, the alien that is Wimby, I feel like his length has given the Thunder a lot of problems, and they've not necessarily solved the spacing issue on the floor when Wimby's out there.
yeah, but yeah, it's a different game when he's there, when he out there with them. Because I mean, it was like that with Tim Duncan. It's some guys like that that just demands space on the court. But the difference is in his uniqueness is that he can step out. You know what I mean? Like those guys weren't stepping out on the perimeter and hitting threes, and you got to be he's a real threat. If he hit two, three threes in the game, he a threat. Like now, what we gonna do with him? We can't just say, all right, just let him post up. Because now you have to guard that. But if you let him get out there and start making moves on like Kevin Garnett was that to us when we was growing up. I'm not comparing them to, but yeah, that was different. 6'11" with that
Right.
was different. So like he's 7'5" with that. Post up, make threes. You don't know what to put that where. Now it's coaching. And how you gonna use him to make sure that everybody else has spacing. So like Dylan Harper, Stephon, all them guys can still get on their one-on-one with him still being a rim protector. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get weird. That's why I was saying Chet is going to be that for Oklahoma City because he's gonna have to defend that because Isaiah is a real like back to the basket rim protector guy. Chet can get on perimeter and guard guys, so he's gonna have to be the one-on-one against Wemby for the next 6, 7, 10 years. Because they're still young,
Yeah.
which is going to be great to watch. But that's what I'm saying because they're gonna have to. I don't know what Wemby gonna turn into. I ain't never seen nothing like him. And Chet's like that too. Chet's an alien to me too. I said that when he was in high school. So I'm like, that's why they match up so perfectly together. But then they end up drafting Dylan Harper. I'm like, damn. They got two guys now.
Yeah.
You got three guys. You got De'Aaron, you got Stephon, and you have Dylan Harper. And we'll just have to see. But we have a whole lot of picks where we at.
Yeah, yeah. There's I absolutely believe that San Antonio matches up well with the Thunder. I also like if you ask me to pick who wins a playoff series at this point in time, I'm still picking the Thunder to win that series. And there a part of this is San Antonio's got a bunch of really young guys, right? Like what do those guys look like when we get into game 65, 70, 75 of the regular season, not to mention the grind that is the postseason, right? I mean, you can speak to this as a young guy. Your body probably handles it differently than when you've been through that several times. So we've seen a lot of young teams start to fade at the end of the regular season and the playoffs. Also, this group has never been through the postseason and hasn't experienced that intensity that takes place for 48 minutes every single time you play in the postseason. So there's a couple of things I think working massively against San Antonio when you put it into perspective of this is going to happen several months from now at the end of the season, and San Antonio's not experienced it yet.
Nah, yeah, I agree with that. They won't beat them in a 7 game series this season, in my opinion. Um, but I'm speaking to the future of
For
what's
sure.
going on. But right now, they can't beat them. Like nobody in the West, other than Denver, can give them a chance to beat them. I had the Clippers in there a little bit earlier, but they have it's too Kawhi dominant at this point, and availability for them is not working. But like I really have OKC getting to the finals, and I would go 7 games against Denver. I don't think the Spurs ready for that. But next year, if De'Aaron stays there, the alien continues to get stronger, and these guys just continue to mesh and play well up under that coaching staff and under that organization, it's going to be scary for a
Yeah.
lot of people, like for real. And that's out the West. Like, it'll come into fruition. But I will say this about the Thunder: they're not going nowhere anytime soon. And I love um, what Mark's doing over there. Shout out to Mark. What he's doing over there in terms of putting everything together. And I know they having them conversations, those meeting rooms, watching film, and it's look, we got to fix this, that. They don't have to fix a lot. Like some teams got to fix a lot.
Yeah.
They don't have to, you know, and it'll be okay. But that's what I always said about Chet. Like if Chet can turn into a version of a rim protector and a two-way guy, that's going to change everything over there. And they already did it. He already doing it. I'm not saying he's not doing it, but if it can be elite like that, that's Hall of Fame type stuff. I thought he was when he came out of school. I was like, when I saw him in high school, I'm like, he's the different person for them. Shea is Shea, J Will. All the other guys know their role. Don't get me wrong, because they all do everything. Everybody's their Michael Jordan, they role. But Chet, you got to be like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar right now of your role. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they gonna be coming at y'all every year, because they already got your number.
That's right.
That's
And all that said, I mean, I favor the Thunder in the postseason, but that doesn't mean it's a guarantee. And I would say Tuesday's matchup feels enormous, right? San Antonio's already beat them 3 times this year. They've got 2 more matchups. This one's in OKC. They'll play again, I believe, in February in San Antonio. So you're going to have 5 matchups between these teams in the regular season. But if you go down 4-0, I thought the Thunder already looked very frustrated on Christmas Day with that San Antonio matchup, and the body language I thought told a massive story. You lose another one, especially on your home floor, the mental aspect of this rivalry, I think, just gets even greater.
absolutely. And I'll tell you the key and the key is Stephon Castle. Like he does so much that a lot of San Antonio games don't come on TV like that unless Wemby's playing. And I told people, I said, look, Stephon Castle, you can watch the game if you know basketball. He changed a whole game on both sides of the floor. 6'5" point guard, 2 guard, and he want the smoke. He want the matchup with Shea. And Shea know it now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the media, it's us talking, it's them, and they're like kind of counterparts, like they around the same age. And I'm like, now you see, you know what I mean, who the Green Goblin is now. He own you. You know what I'm saying? He know he own you too, because he's talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like he own you now. Cause he like, okay, he the MVP. Shay 6'5", 6'6". Stephon 6'5". We don't get the same attention they get. He's on that. You know what I'm saying? I can see it when they playing. I see what he's saying. We read people mouth, pause like we see it. He's on them. And I'm not in a bad way, it's a competitive way. And he's their real leader to me over there with the Spurs. And he like, we got to be like that with all of them. Like all of them, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and that's why I said last episode we spoke. I was like, I think they really feel like they can beat them in a 7 game series. I don't think they can this year, but I feel like they feel like that confidence to
Yeah.
beat them.
100%. So 6-6 in the last 12. Three of those losses to San Antonio. They lost to Phoenix earlier this week on a Devin Booker buzzer beater. Then they lost to a not very good Charlotte Hornets team at the Paycom Center. And you got to give Charlotte a ton of credit. I mean, they hit some shots in that game that were just insane, like the LaMelo Ball shot in the corner where he's falling out of bounds on one toe. Like sometimes teams just have it going, but I also kind of get a sense that the Thunder don't really seem like they're themselves right now. They seem a little bit on shaky legs, so to speak. I mean, their mentality doesn't seem to be in the same place that it was a month ago, and I would also argue that might not necessarily be a terrible thing, right? To have a little adversity as opposed to mowing through everybody for the entirety of the regular season. Mark Dagnall says it all the time. You don't get better, or you get much more you get more improved through the losses. You learn more through the losses than you do the wins.
Yeah, nah, that's it's 82 games, bro. Like, it's no way, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's no way that you're not going through some adversity.
Right.
Like, it's so much that goes on with players, organizations, coaches. Like, and I'm not saying they're in a bad space, but some of the things that was working earlier in the season is not going to be working going into All-Star break or after All-Star. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you playing against the best. It's 450. This is it. It's the best players in the world. So I mean, it happens, and I don't think it's nothing wrong with it at all, because I think they will still end up in the finals, and we're not in the locker rooms or in the meeting rooms or in the film rooms to really understand, like, okay, what do we need to fix, or who's really playing through pain and hurt, or who's going through something in the life of them. Like, it's just a lot of stuff that changes everything over 9 months or eight
Preach.
months. Right. It's real talk, bro. So
Absolutely.
I'm like, it's not really a crisis for them right now. Like, it's some teams that I'm looking at that I'm like, no, that's a problem for a couple years. You know what I'm saying? Like, with them, it's like, all right, we'll fix this, we'll fix that, play him more, put them on the bench more, play this, play that, let's run this, let's run that. Let's take this off his table a little bit for a while. Like, that's like little adjustments. Some people, it's like, y'all not gonna win for a couple years. You need to trade him, and him, and bring in them, and them. But the Thunder we don't have that problem, in my opinion. I think it's um, just little adjustments. But I think that'd be fine. But I do think that they need to address those little problems, because the little problems turn into really big problems. And then people start wanting, get out of there and all that. But I don't think they're at that point, nowhere near that point right now.
I had someone tell me the other day that they don't get worried about the Thunder when they lose. They get worried about the Thunder when they lose, and it seems like the team is frustrated over how they're playing. And that was the sense that this person had with this current stretch, is that it's not just that they're losing, it's that they seem to be frustrated with not being able to just push the right buttons when they need to push them.
Yeah, I think it's just, like I said, small adjustments, because I think they so locked in together that they understand. But I pray that it's not like we gotta change everything up and start trading people and all. They not doing that. You know what I'm saying? They are not doing that. I believe from what I'm watching, they people make adjustments again. They had to figure out how to adjust 24-1. Like you have to figure out how to adjust against that. And I remember when the Lakers, the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, like 2000, 2001, people had to figure that out. They ain't figured it out for 4 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Detroit had to figure that out. And it wasn't like um Orlando wasn't good with Dwight was one of the best players in the world at that time, and Jameer Nelson. Like people gonna figure it out, but it's not like it looks like, oh, this is over. Like 2004 or five Lakers, 2004 Lakers, we knew it was over. You know what I mean? And this is not that. Like they can still be contenders for the next 4 years by just being the most, in my opinion, intelligent and just equipped team for any defense, any offense, anything. They are right there with it. But they got to go through it's gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what it is right now. That's all I feel like it is.
There was a clip last regular season. I remember Mark Dagnall speaking on this in the moment and just thinking like how refreshing it was to hear a coach talk about this. And I need to find it that way I can play it over and over and over through the next few years, right? Because there's going to be these stretches over the next few years where the Thunder maybe don't play to the level of expectation. And that's the danger when you win a championship and you're blowing people out and you start 24-1. Everybody thinks that you should do that every night. And when you don't, the sky is falling. But there was a point last year where Mark Dagnall's talking about the regular season and how he kind of navigates it and uses it as this runway to get ready for the postseason. And you're not necessarily game planning for every opponent the way you would in a postseason game. You're more working on yourself and trying to fix and experiment with some of your things as opposed to, hey, we got to take this away from this team because this is what they do really well. And it's great context because if you go into every game over the course of an 82 game season, game planning for the opponent and taking this away, first of all, you're going to give away all your secrets for the postseason. But second of all, that would be incredibly draining. You have to learn who you are, what your identity is, what works, try new things, right? Because it's always about growth in all of professional sports. And you are going to game plan in the playoffs for specific opponents and how they match up, not on a one-off when you're going to play somebody new potentially the next night. It just doesn't work the same way. And I think there's a lot of fans that have a hard time grasping, I guess, the approach of like every game isn't like game 7. We're going to throw everything at you to try and win. Not that they're not trying to win, but you don't like empty everything in the gas tank, so to speak.
Yeah, nah, you got to leave something because you're a team like the Thunder or a team like maybe not the Spurs, but maybe Houston. Like if you're a team that knows you're going to go deep into the playoffs, like some of that you got to leave on the table. You can't show everybody everything because they're not going to know. They're going to know everything that you have to give them in a 7 game series. And Mark's a great enough coach. They have a great enough scouting team and coaching staff and organization to know that that's what it's going to be. And I know I bring this up all the time, but we lost to Golden State every time that year. And we got to 7 games in the series and we had them scared. And I was like, okay, I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can't show them everything. And we didn't. And when we got to the playoffs, it was like we in San Francisco in the hotel. They had the gym over there. I forgot the name of the gym. And we in there with practice, and everybody knows every play. I'm talking about shout out my bro Wilson, Saint, Saint retired now. Like everybody knew everything that they was gonna do and what we was gonna do. And it's that locked in, you know? And that's why I feel like Oklahoma City can't lose to anybody. Well, Denver is going to be a real threat. Houston maybe, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to see that. Um, but the Spurs are on the way to everybody, like for real. Like, I'm looking at it, but nah, we're not losing to none of them right now. It's not really no threats right now, but that's why they get paid the big bucks
That's
to
right.
figure it out.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying? Like, but
Hit the
nah, I feel
panic
like
button in March, right, or April if they're still playing like this, and it's not all
yeah,
coming
like
together
that.
as seamless, as you would expect. They have been out rebounded by 40 over the last two games. Obviously, with Isaiah Hartenstein out, that's a big part of that equation. Chet the other night said that he needs to take it as like a look in the mirror type of moment and step up in that way, and he's a big part of that for the Thunder. But rebounding clearly while Hartenstein is out is going to be something that they're going to have to focus on.
Eventually he'll be back. And that's definitely the main issue, is because offensive rebounding is what he does. Like defensive, of course, but offensive rebound, that changed everything for them. And with him being out, it changes the entire offense. Because now, if you can't get offensive rebounds, now they shoot more threes. Long shots, long rebounds, guards getting. Now it's offensive and defensive transition. Defense, that's hard to deal with. And people don't really see that, but it's like that could be like 13, 14 points because they're shooting threes in transition. But without Zay, you know what I'm saying? Like they can do that. With Zay, oh, now we got that. Like, y'all not getting transition on this, you know? And Zay's great at that. He was great at that like before he got to the league. Like that's what he was in New York. I don't know why New York didn't keep him, but I'm glad he with us. But offensive and defense, offensive rebounds are so important. And I train kids. I have a training company, and we'll put drills in, where you have to offensively rebound. Because I'm like, this will get you paid forever. You think you got to do all these moves and step backs? No. I'm like, look at Isaiah Hartenstein. Look at Zay. You know what I mean? Like, it's affecting them that he's not available right now. He'll be back. They'll be fine. I don't, but it's not like they traded him, or nothing. He won't get traded, I don't think. But yeah, that affects your team a lot. Like Steven Adams was that for us when I was there. And he's that, wait, Houston? What's Steven?
Yeah, Houston.
Houston. He's there for them. He's getting a little older, but he was there for us in his prime. And I'm like, he saved us a lot of games, bro. Like he was, Ennis Cantor. Ennis was like that
Yeah,
too.
Ennis was a great offensive rebounder.
Hell yeah, for real. And it's just I think that now they're going through a little bit of the injuries and some of these guys um, just banged up a little bit maybe, and they're not saying nothing. But Zay being out is really that, you know. But that mean they'll be fine. It's just gonna be a matter of time before they. This is adversary at its best. You know what I mean? Because you got the best team like put together in the league, and everybody's going through something right now. But I feel like when Zay get back and everybody get the chemistry all the way back, I don't think the chemistry's messed up. I just
No,
think that they're just going through an adverse time through some guys being hurt, injured, whatever. And then guys will be back, and then they'll be back on the same page. Versus teams that's like, we want to trade this person that they can't get through or figure out. But they're not there.
I'll ask one other thing before we run out of time today. There's I know that everybody says like we don't listen to outside noise and we don't hear the media and we don't hear this and that, and we all know that's somewhat BS, right? I mean, they may not dwell on it, but everybody hears that stuff, good or bad, right? And both can be positive and both can be negative. It's kind of how you channel it. So like when they are getting all this praise, 24-1, this team could break Golden State's regular season record of 73 wins, and they're destroying everybody. The margin of victory right now is on record setting pace and all that. Again, I'm not saying that they are dwelling on it, but they're certainly hearing all that noise. They're certainly hearing the entire NBA world talking about how the league is in trouble for the next like decade, basically with the Thunder's roster and all these draft picks. Like there is a point, right, where in some way that has to start, because you're only a human being, right? Like in some way that has to start impacting you. And again, a point I made earlier, you could go through the entire regular season hearing how great you are, and that's not going to make you tougher, right? That's going to do the opposite, regardless of how much you actually dwell on it. But I wonder if there was any of that maybe setting in, even to a small degree.
I hope it's not because no, and see, that's a coaching thing. So like, and I believed in Mark since he was in the G League when we was over there back then. And I know it's not a coaching thing, but I can imagine Mark being like banging on the white the chalkboard,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, we not trying to be none of that. You know, I don't think that's a case of what they thinking. But yeah, the media, I mean, we media,
Right.
but
Right.
um, I don't think that would get in the back of their head right now because I feel like um they already won a chip. So it's not like I'm trying to be the Warriors of 2017 or 16. Like I don't think that they're trying to think on that level. I think they're really just trying to navigate through this year. But yeah, some of the young guys might be, nah, we gonna win 75 games. Like, bro, do you know how hard it is to do this? Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I mean, because I have to like, I'm like, bro, we won like 55, 60 games that year they beat us in a 7-game series, bro. Do you know how long and how much how locked in you have to be
Yeah.
to do that? You know what I mean?
It's
Like it's
insane.
not so like y'all play video game. I'm like, no, bro, this is every second of the day when you get in the playoffs. It's not like, we're just gonna chill out, hang with the family. No, I'm like, y'all don't call me. I love you, but don't call me. You see what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
win 73 games. So that's what I would be preaching if they think that that's what this is this year. This is not what that is. Now we're going through a little storm. And y'all only 6-6. It's okay. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Still with
it's
like a
not
four
okay.
game
It's
lead
okay.
in the Western Conference. All that said, they still have like a
Ain't
4 game
nobody
lead in the
gonna
Western Conference.
you got the MVP. You getting your best big in terms of what he does back. Still got Chet. Jay Wheeler's an all-star, in my opinion. And you got the guys. Like everybody's there. Kaysen, you know what I mean? Everybody's there. And I'm like, it's not that serious unless it starts growing and festering with everybody. Like, we should win these games. I'm like, no, bro, don't think about that. I don't know, bro. You got two of the greatest shooters ever outside of me. No. You got Clay and Steph over there, and then you had Draymond, and you had KD. Like, well, before KD. But I'm like, no disrespect to my brother, I want him to get mad at me. But I'm like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, them boys was on some other type stuff over there that year. Like everybody was in a prime, and nobody could beat them. And we was the only ones that could beat them. You know what I'm saying?
Bunch of
But it is,
specialists, if you ask me.
I'll take that. I thank God for everything.
That's right. That's right.
No, it's all love. But no, I don't think they should be looking at that now. If
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I don't
speak to
believe that. By the way, that's just when you go through a losing streak, lots of people throw lots of different ideas, and that's what we do. We discuss them. I don't think that's the case either, but that's one of those things that gets thrown around for sure. All right, my man. We are out of time. We got to run, but we've got that San Antonio matchup next Tuesday, so that one's going to be pretty juicy to discuss.
we're gonna talk about it.
All right,
We're
all
gonna
love, my dude, and we'll do it again next week.
peace, brother. All love. Hey, I gotta bring something up real quick.
Okay.
Me and my guy Gary Young just started a sports agency, AG Sports and Entertainment here in Charlotte. We'll talk more about that next week or whenever.
Let's do it. Let's
Got
do
you,
it.
bro.
I can't wait to hear
Peace.
the new venture.